Do you want to know the best attacking and defending operators statistically in the game of Rainbow Six Siege? We've come to the right video. In today's video, we're going to be going over the pre-season designer's notes, as well as the win deltas for Rainbow Six Siege, to show you statistically, on a graph, who is the best operator and defender in Siege. Let's get in the video. Alright, so this is, keep in mind, platinum and above stats for ranked PC. So if you're on console or you are below plat, this does not really apply to you, but I'd imagine, you know, gold, there is some levity and some truth to it as well. So just keep that in mind. But first of all, the highest win rate for an operator in Rainbow Six Siege. I'm gonna let you guess for 5 seconds. Who do you think the highest win rate is? Who do you think, if you had to pick an operator that would give you the most round wins statistically in Rainbow Six Siege, who do you think? Well, it's Clash. It's Clash. She has an off the charts win rate, which is something we've seen very rarely, if at all, right? So if you've never read this chart, you've never seen this chart before, essentially this is the pick rate, the X is the pick rate, and the Y is the win rate. Just for frame of reference, Alibi is the most picked defender for ranked, while Clash has the highest chance of winning you rounds in ranked as well. So just kind of weird, right? And then the lowest one being Goyo doesn't really surprise me, but that's insane. And then on attack, guess who's the highest? Monty! When I saw this, I was in disbelief. I'm like, how could it possibly be this way? How could Monty have the highest win delta in the game along with Clash? It just didn't make sense in my brain. But then you look at people like Finka, people like Cali, people like Knock, and it starts to make sense. These are all people that people ban often, right? You go on defense, people ban Maestro often, people ban Valkyrie often, ban Thunderbird often if you're on console, right? And it goes to show why people ban certain operators. It's more about the annoyance of having to deal with an operator more than an operator is actually good. Clash is not a good operator, but she's just annoying and she takes actual skill to deal with and brain power to deal with. It's the same reason people ban Knock and she has such a high win rate, and it's the same reason that people ban Capcan, right? Like, they just don't want to have to deal with certain operators, and due to this, they're banned a lot, which means people don't have the opportunity to play against them and learn how to play against them correctly. So it's just one of those things that's like, you lose or you lose, right? You either go against somebody you don't know how to play against, or you ban them and then you decrease your skill on how to play against them anyways. So I just thought that was pretty interesting that Clash and Monty have the highest win rates on defense and attack, and it's off the charts for Clash. Like, I don't think you realize being in the 2% is really good. It means an operator is probably upper A tier, and anything above that is definite S tier in terms of like actual win rate. But off the charts? That's insane, dude. That's insane. Anyways, let's get into the rest of the graph. So Kelly has a really high win rate. This is because once walls are open, she can completely cut off any rotates from the objective. Especially in plat and above, people just wide swing Callies, and Callies get free kills. Also, her gadget is very versatile in the sense that you don't need to get walls with her. You can get gadgets like castle or deployable shields, so a pretty underrated operator. There always are going to be better operators to pick, but as you can see, there's almost nobody that plays Callie. She has under a 5% pick rate in ranked, but if you are playing Callie, you're probably going to be pretty confident with her, so that's why her win delta is so high. It's honestly interesting looking at this because I didn't think Cali would be this high either. Finka being off the charts in terms of pick rate, that's an over 90% pick rate in ranked. I mean, I'm not surprised there. Everybody plays Finka, everybody and their mother plays Finka. Not really surprised at all there. Knock having a very high win percentage actually doesn't surprise me either. Knock was the second most banned attacker in Pro League for 2 seasons straight. I think last season of Pro League for the major, she wasn't as banned, but she's very banned in the higher levels of play, and she's one of the operators that, if you know how to play correctly, is, again, just extremely annoying to go against if you're relying on people like Echo and Valkyrie. So Knock is pretty good. 2 frag grenades as well with a Gon 6, very nice. And then Ashe having a high win rate because of rushes, and because of how easy she is to pick up and use for an entry style player. Not really surprised there, especially in plat and up elo. Yana with a high win rate, 2 grenades, Gon 6, not anymore, lol. With the 2 weapons she has as well, very, very good. But none of the rest of this is surprising. You have the hard breachers pretty much in the middle. You have Amaru, Lion, Ashe, Sophia, Ace, way higher up. Sledge and Thatcher going down is a little surprising to me, just because of how easy they are to pick up and how much utility they can bring. That does surprise me that they have a negative win delta, but Sen's having a low win delta, not surprising at all. The meta that we're in is not a plant meta, which is the only thing that him and Osa for that matter are good for. So him being that low, not surprising to me either. Blitz being that low, not surprising. You're essentially throwing away your opportunity for a gun to run at people and probably get shot in the feet anyways. The only people I see running Blitz are cheaters. That's pretty much it. Once you get into Diamond ELO, if you see they have a Blitz, you know they're cheating. And then you have Glaz this low, not surprising. The concept of him is really cool with the 3-speed and the bearing 9, but people don't play him strategically or in helpful ways, and they just kind of run in and try to frag with him, so doesn't surprise me there. Capitao, nobody knows how to play correctly. I actually have a Capitao guide in the top right, which I'll link right here, but no one knows how to play Capitao correctly. Nobody. And it's honestly sad to see, but now he has it gone 6, so maybe that'll start going up as well as his pick rate. And then everything else doesn't really surprise me. These are all pretty mid operators except for Flores, Buck, and Nomad being pretty low. You can see why. And then in terms of pick rate, Ying being low, Capitao being low, Glaz, Sens, Buck, Blackbeard all low. But Flores is something that I want to talk about. Flores, almost nobody plays in ranked. He's one of those operators that if you know how to play correctly, can be one of the best attacking operators in the game. I made a tier list, which I'll put in the top right here, literally 2 days ago, but I put Flores in S tier, and there is a reason why. He is one of the best attackers in the game, and it's completely slept on in my opinion, so that does surprise me a little bit. IQ doesn't surprise me. The hard breachers being kind of in the middle doesn't surprise me. But if you look at this graph, anybody that's in the middle, right in the middle of all 4 of these pieces of the chart are perfect operators. If you're in this box in the top right here, that means you're overpicked and you're too strong, right? Yana, Finka, makes sense. If you're overpicked and too weak, right, you're talking about Jackal, you're talking about Nomad, Sledge, I understand that too. And then underpicked too weak, Blackbeard, Glaz, Sens, Blitz, Ying, right, that you understand that too. And then underpicked too strong, Monty and Nock. I understand that perfectly. So if you're in the middle, you're not too strong, you're not too weak, you're not overpicked or underpicked, you are perfect. So Thermite's there, Habana's there, Maverick's almost there. They're taking away his grenades though, so he might go more in the underpicked category. But I think he's one of those operators that didn't really need nades. It's cool for solo queuing because you don't really need to rely on your hard breacher to be good or for anybody else to bring grenades. But if you get the bottom of the wall or you Maverick trick, you can do the same thing just with a little bit less time left in the round. So, I mean, I don't honestly think it's going to be that big of a deal. And then the whole ACOG thing with Sledge as well, I never use the ACOG. I use the 1.5. I can't really complain. He also has EMP grenades now, so it's whatever. Honestly, it's whatever. Going into defense, we have obviously Clash being up super high doesn't really surprise me, especially for ranked. Rook being that high is actually pretty cool to me because the 2x is not only good for spawn peeking, but it's also good for holding really long angles, especially in really big maps, right? And if you get a spawn peek kill, you have such a high chance of winning the round that Rook being that high doesn't surprise me at all. And now they're adding self-revive to his armor plates, so I'm only thinking of seeing him go up higher, right, in terms of actual pick rate. Maybe not win rate, but pick rate for sure. Continuing in the underpicked too strong category, Maestro doesn't surprise me. Maestro's pretty slept on. There's this conception that Maestro and Echo are only post-plant operators, and I don't think this is true. They're only post-plant operators if you're setting up their gadgets in sight where people would plant, right? They are really good for that. They're good for plant denial. They're also good for many other things, and I actually challenge you to use them differently. Cav being here, especially for rank, doesn't really surprise me. People don't really expect the Cav. It's a great counter to Jackal. I don't think she's a good operator. I think she's one of the worst operators in the game, but her being high on a win delta does not surprise me at all. Ella being semi-high as well doesn't surprise me. Her guns are great. People don't really expect a good Ella player, so it's not something I'm too surprised about. This is a pretty generic underpicked too strong category. Overpicked too strong, Alibi, zero surprise there. 1.5 MX Storm with a deployable shield and a bailiff. She's absolutely crazy. She won't ever be not crazy. Her ability is a bit meh, but it makes up for it for her other utility. So my personal opinion, she belongs there. I don't think they need to do anything to her. If they were to do something to her, I think they should probably take her bailiff away, but even then she's still really fun to play, very versatile, so who knows. Melusi being here does kind of surprise me. I'm a Melusi hater personally. I think Melusi is extremely overrated, but most people don't. It doesn't surprise me that she's right here. Being a 42% presence in ranked, maybe 41 if I'm reading that correctly. she's seen a lot because she's extremely easy and easy to play off of, right? That doesn't mean she's good, but she's easy. And most people get those two things crossed over. Thunderbird is the same thing. Thunderbird's extremely easy with a good gun. Doesn't mean she's good. On PC, she's not good. Console, that's different. Melusi as well on console is a lot better. Just because she's easy to play does not mean she's good. Somebody like Goyo, extremely easy to play, but is really bad. Warden, easy to play, not good. Cav, easy to play, not good, right? So I get the gun is cool to use. I get the gadget may seem useful to you and your teammates, but compared to somebody like Valkyrie, who has good utility and a good gun and a good ability, they're nowhere even close. Now, something I want to talk about is Oryx. Oryx, I actually am pretty fond of in the solo queue scene because you can play him in a multitude of ways. You can play him for hatches, which is kind of what I don't recommend you do, or you can play him to zoom across the map and put pressure on multiple different attacker entry points for runouts, spawn peaks, general gunfights, and he has a 1.5 on a T5 SMG with 0 recoil. And now that Silence is buffed, I think he's going to be even better, so I'm really excited for that. And then Jaeger's pick rate going from a solid 90% all the way down to a 42%. I'm happy. That's actually really good. I think with EMP grenades being in the game as well, it's either going to make people play Jaeger a lot more or a lot less. I kind of want to see what's going to go on with the meta, but I think Wamai is seeing a huge resurgence as well, as you can see by the higher win delta and the 30% presence in ranked. But he's not the monster he once was. I think he's pretty balanced right now, personally, and people are losing their grenades for EMP grenades or other gadgets right now, so Jaeger I think is going to stay there or generally around there, and the low win delta also does not surprise me. Now we can get into this huge clusterfuck of operators in the center. Kapkan, Mozzie, Aruni, Bandit, Legion, Azami, and Smoke. So these operators are what you would consider very well balanced operators. Bandit maybe not so much, but with this new season coming out and Bandit tricking probably going to be the meta, I think his win rate is going to soar, and I think his pick rate is also going to soar as well. Especially with Pro League being a thing right now, people are going to start to see that Bandit is the only way to keep walls closed with EMP grenades going off, and because they reworked Bandit, he's extremely easy to Bandit trick with. I'm going to expect to see him go up, and Azami go up as well. Also, Kapkan 4 rank, super underrated. People don't look for his traps, extremely easy to play, very fun to play as well, so definitely start picking up more Kapkan and more Bandit this coming season. And then there's this group of operators, Mira, Dog, Tachanka, Pulse, Warden, Thorn, and Vigil, all in the same category. Doesn't really surprise me. It's one of those groups of characters where if you play them right, you'll win, and if you play them wrong, you'll lose, and that's why they're almost 0% in favor of winning or losing. They're pretty balanced as is, so that doesn't really surprise me there. Now, Castle, Frost, and Goyo do not surprise me either. Like, Castle is one of those operators that you have to play extremely correctly and with a coordinated team to get any value out of whatsoever, and 90% of people in this game don't have that. Same with Frost. You need a good sense of where to put Frost mats in ranked because people look for common spots, and most people don't know how to play Frost, right? Same with Goyo. Most people don't know how to play Goyo, and even if you do, he's really not all that good compared to somebody like Smoke. So that doesn't surprise me at all. With that being said, that's pretty much it for the win deltas. The only other thing I could talk about is the ban rate, which shouldn't surprise you. Thatcher and Jackal, obviously, and then Mira, Valkyrie, and Cade. All pretty standard stuff. If you want to learn how to get better at the game of Rainbow Six Siege in general, I'm definitely the channel to sub to. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm only going to start uploading more. So make sure you sub to the channel, like the video if you liked it. My name's Alka, and I will see you in the next video.